A witty answer. This is a story by one of the most famous writers of olden times. In those days, especially trained hawks were used in hunting. Let's get started. A certain nobleman, whose name was Curado, was a gallant and worthy citizen, delighting much in hounds and hawks. Having caught a fat young crane one day with his hawk, he sent it home to his cook with orders to prepare it for supper. The cook was a poor and simple fellow. Trussed the bird and set it over the fire to roast. When it was nearly done, a friend chanced to come into the kitchen, and, being attracted by the good smell, earnestly begged for a leg of the crane. Nay, you shall have no leg for me, said the cook. Annoyed at this refusal, the friend replied, very well, then you need never again accept any favor from me. At once a quarrel arose and was carried to a great height between them. At length, for the sake of peace, the cook was obliged to carve a leg from the crane and give it to his friend. So the bird was served at the supper with only one leg. Curado, who had a fight at supper with him, at once sent for the cook and asked angrily what had become of the other leg of the crane. The cook replied after a moment's thought, a crane, only one leg, sir. What do you mean? Cried Curado with a great wrath. Only one leg? Do you think I have never seen a crane in my life? Believe me, sir, it is as I say, and I will prove it to you whenever you please. From a living crane, declared the cook. Well, said Curado, who did not choose to have any more words in the presence of his friend, as you to show me a thing which I have never seen before. I am content to have it proved tomorrow morning, but if you are wrong, as indeed you must be, I will thrash you so that you will remember tomorrow as long as you live. There the matter ended that night, but Curado, whose anger the man's impudence had hardly allowed him to get any rest, rose early. He called for horses and took the cook along with him towards a river where he had often seen plenty of cranes at that early hour of the day. We shall soon see, he said to the cook. How much truth was in your words spoken last night? The cook was now fairly at his wits' end. Gladly would we have made his escape, but he knew that there was now little hope of doing so. All of a sudden, as they came in sight of the river, he happened to see, before anyone else, a number of cranes. They were each standing on one leg, as cranes usually do when they are sleeping. With a sigh of relief, the cook pointed them out to Curado, saying, now, sir, you yourself can see that I spoke nothing but the truth when I said that cranes have only one leg. Curado looked at the birds and replied, yes, true, but I will show you different. Then riding up the birds, he cried out, Su, Su. At once each crane sat down on the other foot, and after taking a step or two, they all flew away. Curado then turned to the cook and said angrily, well, fellow, do you believe now that the cranes have two legs? What can you say to save yourself from the thrashing that I promised you? Only this, sir, I replied the cook, making a brave effort to gather his wits. Had you but called Shushu to that crane last night, it might have put down the other leg too. As this bird did now, so you might have been saved all this journey. Well said, fellow, well said, declared Curado, laughing. You're ready with has saved your skin. Let us turn and go home. Thus the cook escaped a beating, and made peace with his master. This story is written from Boccaccio's Decameron.